Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, you love me and I love you. Putting on for my people, the love for heroes, building community. Can you hear me now? Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, can you hear me now? 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 Hear me now. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Welcome to the Jewel Institute of Education, where we know how to teach math. Well, sort of. This is Miss Autumn, our math magician in residence. She's passionate, brilliant, and occasionally hilariously human. Always on the move, always organizing, and always being awkwardly followed by cameras. But hey, that's what makes her legendary. Boundaries. Even math teachers have them. Don't sneak up on Miss Autumn unless you want a pop quiz on quadratic equations. At the Jewel Institute, we take math seriously, but not too seriously. We believe learning should be fun. Personal space. Give the woman room to shine. She's about to show you where the math magic happens. So, if you're ready to laugh, learn, and maybe misplace a decimal or two along the way, come check out Miss Autumn and the Jewel Institute of Education, located in Pflugerville, Texas, where math isn't scary, it's magnificent. Now quit scrolling and go book her before someone else multiplies faster.
Oh, hello, and welcome back to another episode of God Matt Presents Can You Hear Me Now? I am Lady Madelyn Patterson, joined my beautiful and talented co-host, Ms. Vicki Merriwether.
Thank you much.
Yes, absolutely. And y'all, we got a little pretense of, a little sneak peek of what we're going to be talking about today. But you know, you and I have dealt with being labeled in a negative way.
Yes.
And that doesn't feel very nice, being labeled.
Feels
Yeah.
stifling.
It feels stifling. And so imagine these children being negatively labeled, especially on the math side with that aspect. But today we're going to talk a little bit about some personal components when failure is over a child's potential. Yeah, we're going to do a deep dive into a crisis that's happening right here in Austin and beyond: math anxiety, academic defeat, and then students who think that math is not me. I'm not a math person. But guys, what if I told you, sitting right here in the studio, is a woman who's proving everyone wrong every day. She's an Austin native with a 92% success rate. 92% success rate. And turning students who say I can't do math into I just aced my STAR test.
All right now.
She doesn't just teach numbers, y'all. She uncovers diamonds. She doesn't just solve equations. She solves confidence crisis. Please join me in welcoming Miss Autumn Shead, the founder of the Jewel Institute of Education and Ready Tutoring. Ooh. Yeah, clock it.
That's what the kids say, clock it.
Oh, I got it.
You know, the first time I did it, I did this finger and they said no. I said, oh, my bad.
It's this one.
It's this one.
Oh, it's
It's this one.
okay.
Yeah, it's this one.
Clock it.
Yeah, I probably would have been doing this too. So it's this one.
So Autumn, let's start off just the beginning. You're in Austin, born. You are a unicorn is what they say now in Austin. You're a unicorn. So, but you've dedicated your life to education. But this isn't just about teaching math, is it? So you've looked at some other things as well. So tell us how you got involved in this aspect.
So, my dad has his own youth organization called CCYA. And I actually started mentoring and tutoring around the age of 12, 13. So all of the younger kids that were around me, even some who were in my grade, I was just always like, they were always, Autumn, can you help me? Autumn, can you help me? So I was like, oh, okay, sure, right. And then so I ended up that was like my form of introduction to like actually making sure kids understood the material.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. And we're not going to go into your parents here. We're going to do a little bit about that because those in Austin already know the Shead name. Y'all already know. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. When was the moment that you realized math was your thing?
So I was in college, and I hadn't really struggled with math. I was one of those kids who were in AP, and I took calculus, and I got my B. We was moving on to college,
Okay.
and at first I thought I was going to be a lawyer. Because I thought, I read a lot, I can do that aspect. I like to argue, as my brothers can point out. So I was like, okay, I can move into that space. And then I was actually, for a part-time job, I ended up tutoring. And so I was tutoring a lot of math, and I was like, oh, I think maybe, I can switch my path a little bit. Like, this is a little bit more fun to me than actually, being in a courtroom, because people don't realize there's a lot of documents involved.
Oh, yes.
And I didn't know that at 18. And so I was like, I think I'm going to just change the trajectory.
Okay.
And then you have a master's degree
Yes.
in developmental education. Now, that's very specific.
Yes.
What led you to that path?
So by the time I was going to get my master's degree, I had been teaching for about a year. And so I saw a lot of students, they push differentiation, right? To basically make sure that each student has what they need. But in the school system, the professional development, depending on which, district you're in, is not always up to par. And so you have to figure out, okay, so how can I have 30 kids per classroom, in high school? You get 6 to 7 classes. So that's around 180 plus kids that you have to deal with. So then how can I make sure that I give each kid the opportunity that they need and enough of me within the hour and a half, right, to make sure that they can get where they're going? And so I was like, looked at Texas State. I was just going through everything. And I was like, Dev Ed. I was like, that helps you actually be able to, on the fly, right? They taught me how to assess a kid with just observation, and then give them the things that they need.
Okay.
Wow. I didn't even ask, but how old are you?
I'm 32.
Oh, don't start me.
Wow. Autumn, I'm
Floor.
yes. I'm looking, it's beautiful when we can look at some of these young women who just have this passion and the desire, and then execute and just go out there and do some great things. And you started the Jewel Institute of Education. So tell us the difference between Ready Tutoring and the Jewel Institute of Education.
So the Jewel Institute of Education is just, that's my LLC, and that is just math tutoring. Eventually, I want to add reading, math, and science and everything. But I know my lane, right? And I went to school for math, and I'm a math girly. So I was like, let me just start with that first. And so that is just tutoring, and it's specialized group tutoring. Because I believe, based off of my experience with teaching, that small groups is the best way to teach. Community is the best way to teach, period, and especially in math, right? To be able to have someone that's a peer and be like, how did you get that, right? And to have someone that is different around you. And so it's still individualized. So when a student comes to me, I have a group of maybe 3, max 5. I don't really go past 5 kids at a time. And I individualize it per kid, right? So whatever they need within that tutor session, they get it, but they still will have other kids around them, because some kids, they have that anxiety of if it's just an adult in them, they're like, oh my God, I have to be perfect. I have to, do everything correct. And I'm trying to show them you don't. And there's other people like me, right? I have to refresh on some things. I had some kid coming with statistics the other day, and I said, wait a minute, let me go back and refresh. It's been a while since I've seen it. Just give me a second to refresh the formula, so then I can just be like, okay, this is what you do, right? And so just kind of showing them that, a lot of mathematicians, it's not always all up here, right? And so you have to do that in the community aspect. And Ready tutoring is just more so tutoring in life, right? So the first two pillars that we're starting with is what's called Ready Roots and Ready Thinkers. And that's basically Ready Roots is community events, and it always has an educational theme underlined. So we'll do something fun. Like the last time I did Cocos and Crafts, they didn't even know that the educational theme was measurement. So they were doing a lot of measurement and stuff when they came, and they were, going through like the little stations we set up. And then Ready Thinkers is more so seminars. I'm leaning towards the high school kids to try to give them more information about the type of jobs and careers that are out there. You don't have to go straight to college. You can go to a vocational school, right? You can go get a certificate and start your career, right? And then you can work your way up, because college isn't for everybody, but education is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we talked about a little of that
Absolutely.
earlier.
You were, one thing I love, you call your students jewels.
Yes.
And look when she said it, that smile
Yes.
just came on your face. That's not by accident, right? That's very specific. Tell us about why Jewel?
So Jewel actually is my mother's middle name, and she recently passed about a year and a half ago. And so one of the main things that she always was, she was very involved in the community. Shout out to Faye Watson, okay? She was very involved. She was always trying to help someone, and I was like, okay, I'm going on this path to help more people, so what can I call it? And I was like, my girl, she was talking to me. She was like, hey. And I was like, okay, I got you. And so that's where the Jewel Institute came from. And they are jewels because everyone takes time to shine. You just gotta, just take their time to make sure, there's diamonds in the rough, and chip at it a little bit. And everybody has a jewel inside of them, right? You just gotta figure out how to get there.
And that perfectly ties into my next question of tell us about a student who made you think this child isn't broken, the system is.
Oh, all of my kids.
Oh.
So not necessarily Jewel, because, that's recent.
Right.
I taught for 7 years in the school system before opening Jewel. And a lot of kids get labeled just off the back. As soon as if they're just a little hyper, then they're automatically ADHD. If they can't pay attention, then it's ADD, right? They have so many labels for everything, where they then take on that label and feel like that label is a part of their identity. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, the reason you're hyper, right, is because maybe you have a sugar rush, right? And the reason you can't pay attention is maybe because it's the opposite and you didn't get anything to eat before you came, right? So there's different pieces that you have to look into, like the background of the child's life, to see like how it is that you can help them be better in your classroom, right? And so it's just the system in general, right? And how they operate, like they're over tested, like the kids are tired. I have almost every one of my kids had testing anxiety, right? So we had to do like calming exercise just so they can just get through the test, because it's not that they didn't know the material, it's just that they knew how much pressure this test was and that it affected their outcome, right? Being a high school student, because you only get 5 tests, right? And then you have to make sure you pass all 5 to graduate. And so they're like, oh my God, what do I do? Like, I have to make sure you get this right. And so it was just a lot. So that label and everything, those stressors on those kids, like every single one of them, just talking to them and building those relationships, they would come to me and be like, I don't know what to do from here, right? And then you're supposed to have guidance counselors, but our guidance counselors do not have the opportunity to guide because they are in their pushing schedules. So it's like, who else do these kids go and talk to? So that gives another role to the teacher, but I can go on that forever. But yeah, that's where it came from.
You bring up a good point, and we talk about math anxiety, well, anxiety in general, but then math anxiety, and then also our children are labeled that we can't do math.
Yeah, which is the complete opposite.
Complete opposite.
Complete opposite. Some
like
of the
black and brown
smartest
kids cannot do that. Is not true.
Not true.
But there is a false narrative out there that some of us have bought into, and going into that. So, Vicki, talk a little bit about this whole the anxiety piece and math anxiety.
Math anxiety.
Math
oh my
anxiety.
gosh. Well, I think it begins too with what you said about our whole our culture's taught here that we can. When I say here,
And
in the country,
Yeah.
that in westernized civilization, it's not just our country, but that we're not
capable.
of doing math. And it's probably because they don't want us to do math, but a lot of it is that's what we're indoctrinated with. And if I already believe that I cannot do something, then that anxiousness,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting here, well, you need to do this because it's going to be detrimental to your life, and you don't, and you can't, or you feel like you cannot, then automatically when you're put in front of an equation or whatever, guess what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You're going to get anxious, which is going to contribute to your mental health, that anxiety, that performance anxiety, and all of that. And if you pay attention, if I'm anxious as an adult, then what do I do with that? And if I walk into a room, or I walk into a situation, and my body's already anxious, I'm going to shut down. And so we're looking at children; they're going to shut down, and their thinking is going to be impacted. And when I say that, it's like, well, because I cannot. Well, I'm made to feel like I cannot do this, which interpreted to them is I cannot do this. Then there's other things that are going to come out. They're going to, for lack of a better way, they're going to deflect. They're going to misbehave. They're going to try and hide that in
Right.
themselves. So they'll either hide, period, or they'll.
Yeah.
They'll-
It'll manifest into some probably more negative
Behavior.
than
Then what we want.
positive, right?
So I mean, it's one of and it's really sad because I can imagine my fear of math is what it is because of of the same thing. But it children don't if I can't do as well as you do, and I should be able to, I'm already comparing myself,
Yeah.
and so it makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
And so the worse I feel about who I am and what looks like my capabilities, guess what happens? That we were just talking about the school to prison pipeline, and that's a part of it.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. And some of you want to talk a little bit about some of the factors or some of the components that deal with the make things like the increased stress and those types of things, or
Oh goodness, So my beginning background is in addiction. So if I'm in school and I'm already stressed about school, I'm going to turn to some strategies that are not healthy,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start missing school. That may be a possibility. I'm going to turn to some
other stimulants potentially.
yes.
Vaping is high right now.
Really? So
It's
in
high.
vaping.
Because you can't really smell it,
No.
right? So they'll go in the bathrooms, right? Hit it a little bit, come back out, and you can't really kind of detect so much. And so they're trying to build like new detectors for it and everything. But it's really high, especially for high school, right?
And what's sad? See, right there to me, what's sad is instead of addressing the real issue, we're gonna build detectors. So when I catch you,
I can kick you out of
I
school.
can kick you out of school. Now this is on your record. Why are these kids so anxious? There's something going on here. Now, from a math perspective, I'm grateful that we have somebody right here in the Austin area who's kind of changing that narrative. And so, Autumn, when somebody comes in, you kind of talked a little about it earlier, but when a child comes in, a parent brings them in for the first time. What does that experience like? Walk us
First
through
of all, I ask the parent not to be involved.
Well, that's a good thing.
That's the
I
first
like
thing.
that. I like that.
You can either sit out in your car, or if you would like, I have like a little area, like if you want to, because I know, I'm a new person. If you would like to just like sit in a little waiting area, but it's kind of is a distraction because most kids would turn around and keep like looking at their parent like that, right? It's kind of easier if you're not there because a lot of kids do not want to disappoint their parents, right? So if they hear math tutoring and they get taken to me, they're like, oh my gosh, like I already like suck in math, like I need this tutor. And it's like, no. Like we do advanced placement too, baby. It's not just like you being bad and you got to get good. It's you're good and we can make you great. Right? So it's both avenues. So when they're coming in and the first thing that we talk about is like, I don't even talk about math like the first 2 minutes. I'm like, hey, how are you? How's school? What's life doing? Just forming that relationship. And that's my teacher background is one of the great things I think about what they push for teachers is that relationship piece is you have to be able to understand your student, right? Before you can help them. And so I'm just talking to them. And then once they get it all, sometimes they just need to vent for like a minute, even if it's about their parent, which is why I suggest y'all don't stay in the car. And so we can get through whatever it is that stressor, right, that they have for the day. And then we can get to the math, right? And then one of the main things I like to do is a gap assessment. In that, I don't test them, right? What they do is they do problems with me, right? It's not a computer. It's not like me giving them like a paper test. I give them questions based off of their grade, right, and their tier. And so like if they come in and a parent is saying like, oh, my kid is in 6th grade and they're having trouble with ratios, right? So in the back of my mind, I already know ratios, but I'm still testing for like the other pieces. And so I can just observe and I can see where, if you have COVID gaps and where those were at, right? And then I can also see where any regular type of gap is just by you doing problems with me, right? And that's with my teacher background. So then you don't have that anxiety of, oh, I got to take a test to see. I want to see where you're actually at, not based off of some test where you already are, like you said, stressed going into there and you have performance anxiety.
So, go ahead.
You said something that made sense to me because I'm a therapist. I don't usually work with children, and mainly because and unless the parents are willing to do the work outside of the office. But the relationship you build first, because I can't work with an individual or a group of people unless I've built a relationship with them, because they're not going to open up until I do that.
Exactly.
And so I like that you said, as a teacher, I need to build a relationship with the child in front of me in order for things to work. And a lot of times in the school systems, it's harder for that to happen.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because they don't give them a lot of strategies, right? And so I was extremely blessed at the school that I chose. Like I had to take tests and everything to get into that program, right? There was an educational program. A lot of the bigger public schools, they have it to where you pick like whatever your major is. So for math, for example, right? And then afterwards, all you do is just go take your test. They don't teach you how to teach, right? And and if you're coming from one of those bigger schools and then you get placed into a classroom, you're like, whoa, what's classroom management? What is this? Like, how do I, because that relationship piece is a part of classroom management, right? And then even if you do that and then like say you go the alternative route, right, where they can give you your certificate and they place you, that's the same thing. You're just being thrown out to the wolves because they're just like, hey, we'll pay you, right? And you can teach for the whole year and take your test at the end of the year, but we're not really gonna like teach you how to do anything. You'll just have a teacher mentor. But guess what? That teacher mentor also has to teach their classes. They can't be with you 24/7. So you have to figure it out on the go.
Yeah.
And you mentioned a little bit earlier that you work with high school to collegiate students. I mean, you've done it all. How do you touched a little bit, but how do you customize to fit those different learners?
I watch their personality. So when they come in, I'm observing first. So if they're a quiet student and they would prefer A lot of my quieter kids prefer we just get straight to the nitty gritty. They just want to they just want to like do their work and kind of leave, right? They don't really want me to talk to them. I respect that, right? And then you have some who are rambunctious and they want to give me their whole life stories. And I respect that too. If you want to talk, you can go ahead and talk, right? And just know that I am very good at redirecting. So you can talk for a little bit and then, okay, I need you to do this problem while you're talking to me, right? I need you to get through it, because then that talk turns to math, because then they'll be like, I don't understand this part, right? And then so just kind of read the redirection and reading them as the type of kid that they are. And I kind of learned that too because I actually do lower too. I do third and fourth. I don't go any lower than third, only because that's a lot of like elementary type things. And I'm going to leave that for them. I do more because high school is just kind of where, like, I just prefer being up that way.
So how do you work with students who may say, I'm not a math person. Like and so they've already got that in their brain, and they got this mental barrier. I just can't do it. How do you work through that aspect with that? Or have you had students?
I've had a couple. So it's basically just building their confidence, right? And then so you it's dependent on the way you tier their material. So if they're coming in and let's just say I have a student who has trouble with solving, right? Well, we're going to start at the very basics of solving, and we're going to make sure that you have your confidence level up. So when I give you one-step problems, then I have like 3x equals 12, right? If you can tell me that the opposite of multiplication is division, and you can divide 3 by 12, 12 by 3 and get 4, we're praising you. You did a great job. I'm so excited. Do the next one, right? So it's a confidence builder. So and then when I give you two-step problems, right? Here's how you do it. Complete that. Oh, you did a wonderful job. I'm so excited. Let's go. Keep going. Right? Keep going. We're clocking it all. We're clocking it all. Right? I'll give them, if they don't like it, because some of them they be like, Miss Shead, please don't do that. And I'm like, okay, spear fingers.
Oh my gosh. Now I do have a question. I think it is a thought, and I'm just wondering. Do you have students when they start working with you on math that you find that other subjects, that especially like reading or English, that they get better at those subjects as well?
Yes. I feel like personally, in my opinion, just looking at the school system and being in there and then kind of transferring out, there's an epidemic where our kids aren't getting the basics for reading, right? And it has, if you talk to almost any math teacher, affected the math classroom. And sometimes it's actual reading the sentence and not understanding the comprehension part, right? Yeah, the background to get it. My job was necessarily supposed to be like, math is its own language, right? It has its own terminology and everything. I should be able to take the English language that you already know, apply maybe a word here, right? And plug that in and be like, okay, when this word is here, this is how you read this sentence, and this is what you then do for the math concept, right? I'm teaching them like sentence structure and all of that. Like, they don't know how to write an email. They don't know how, like, especially in like the high school level, like, I'm trying to teach them how to talk to their teachers, right? I've had emails, yo, miss, how you doing?
Oh my
and
goodness.
It's all spelled all wrong. And I'm just like, if you're going to ask me how I'm doing this, please at least like put a question mark at the end. And I have run-on sentence and everything. So it's just that I don't know. I don't know where that gap happened, how it happened, but it's really, even when it gets to their high school level, it's really affecting how they're able to do math, because a lot of the STAR test is reading, right? So if you cannot read the problem and then you can't then comprehend which math concept to do for that problem.
Right, and also you can't even comprehend the problem itself.
Yes.
At the very
end. So I wonder, because you're saying, in reading, our children are having an issue with comprehension. It seems like math helps them understand, be able to comprehend better. So if I can comprehend the math equation, then is there a possibility then I can comprehend what I'm reading? Is there a connect there?
Yes. So it's cross-curricular, right? So a lot of teachers, when we do our PLCs, used to go in there and horizontal alignment, right? And make sure that whatever the history teacher is doing, whatever the English teacher is doing, we can do something similar to make sure that, like, we're structuring the concepts to where they can understand it a little bit better.
Okay.
And so I'm teaching them basically how to read, like, for instance, in math, and means to add, right? So when you're seeing this and you're saying Johnny has 7 apples and 5 like candy bars, that means to add them together, right? Because and you're putting things together. So just little things like that where I feel like it'll take it on to their reading too. Because even in just regular reading, you're putting, if you say and, you're putting something together, right? It's a conjunction.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That just makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. Get it? Okay.
Yeah.
No math joke for the day.
I knew you were going to come up with one sooner or later. Go ahead,
It was the wink for me. She said,
yeah, for real. I'm telling you.
So, we're going to move a little bit into our faith piece. Because I kind of teased it earlier about the family and whatnot. We all have a very strong faith background. And when I look at some of the stuff that you're doing and the things that you're have been through with this piece, this is not just, I'm doing this because I like math. And you may not call it a ministry per se, but something in you when you're working with these youth and even adults, you have this connection that you're building with them through the relationship. Where does that come from?
oh, my family. Majorly my family. My mom used to work in CPS. My dad is he's a mechanic, but he has his, like I said, his own youth program. He's been doing that since before I was born, right? And then both of my brothers have their own path too. My auntie is a retired elementary school principal. My other auntie helps the homeless. It's just a family dynamic of helping in our own ways of how we can help.
Yeah, so also tell us about how your faith kind of guides your work as well. For those that are in Austin, Texas, we didn't announce who our parents are, but we can tell you who our parents are. Elvin and Lisa Shead, part of the Shead family, right here, and I love how that family connection, that family dynamic, that faith carries through. Have you ever had an experience where you've taken one of the students under your wing, and it wasn't just about the math, but there was something you were able to turn on in them that just blossomed them?
Oh, I have a lot of my babies. I still have some I lived in Dallas for a little bit, and from my last high school, I mean, even before that, I still have some that'll text me. I do have boundaries. Okay. They can't text me more than twice a week unless it's something really important. Like if something's happening and you need me, call me, right? But those boundaries are in place, and you cannot text me after 6 o'clock, again, unless it's something really important and I will answer. But no, they call me for every little thing. I don't know how to get into school. How do I do this? I'm just like, okay, breathe. Like, we'll set up a meeting next week so that we can talk it through. And that leads me to, like, eventually with Ready Tutoring, I do want to bring in that mentor piece where we're talking more of financial literacy and things of that nature and how to get there. We're building, to get to that part, because I feel like as a math teacher, I didn't see a lot of that. It's like algebra and everything, but I mean, what the kids would really need once they leave, us.
How do you implement what you learned in math into real life situations?
Yes.
Like budgeting.
Yes.
Yes. So, you did something really interesting. You talked about the Coco's and cream.
The Cocoa and Crafts?
Cocoa and Crafts. You did in December, but you did a back to school event. But what was so interesting with that, the kids shopped. So talk about that aspect. Because what it looks like you're doing, you're able to create these experiences where they're learning and don't even realize that they're learning math and doing that. And so talk about that aspect that you did.
I just wanted to do a lot of things that I wanted to do as a teacher that I couldn't implement because of time restrictions, right? And so with them shopping and everything, I wanted them to have an experience where, like, I just didn't want to give things away. From my experience, when you're giving things away, people are grateful, but they would rather work for the things that they have. And so like, by showing the kids, like, yeah, you can still get this for free by, doing this labor, right? That's your money, right? And then so I just wanted to give them an experience where they were able to still pick up some things, and I did tier it. So if, like, for instance, you're too little and like all you can do is add, that's okay, baby. I made it to where they were able to add whole numbers, and then as they got little older, I introduced decimals and multiplication, because you should be able to go to the store and be like, oh, I need this can of soup. It's 80 cents. I need 3 of them. Oh, that's $2.40, right? And then be able to move on from there. So you kind of, can calculate that. So I just wanted them to have some fun while also being able to, like, learn a little something.
But I thought it was really neat how they could go around to the different areas. I think your mom was there, and the cashier, and they could.
They had their own little basket. Yeah, so they had they had a clipboard. I did a generic list I looked at all of the districts around me, with Pflugerville, Hutto, Manor, Round Rock, and I did a generic list of what they would need, like, just like basic, like scissors, erasers, pencils, their folders and everything. And they got their list, and then they were able to go through, and they were checking it all. Some of them became really serious. They were telling their parents, no, it says 80 cents. And I was like, I think you should listen to her. I think she's in charge of the house. I don't know what's going on. But no, they enjoyed it. They came, they had play money. And so they were able to, I gave them a pouch with, like, some dollars and some coins, depending on their age, right? Because I tiered it for them. And once they were done, they were able to count out their money, right? And then we would check it off, put it in their backpack. And I was like, okay, have a great day. And they were like, okay, bye. So it was fun.
Let's see. Here's a moment of truth, Vicki. Autumn swears she can use just basic things to help us kind of understand math. And so, in a lot of our homes in our community, we have dominoes.
I see the set of dominoes.
And my husband, we play like all the time, and then we can count by fives pretty easily with dominoes. But she said you can use dominoes for fractions. Like fractions.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Now see, fractions.
Yeah, that'd be good to go 1 + 1.
Right. So, we're going to do something live. Oh, God, help me.
Y'all look at me just fine. Okay. They don't go past 12. Could you have the 6s, right? So your base for 6.
Oh, look at Madeline's face. Hey, for real. I'm not telling you that I'm not feeling it all in the inside.
Because you have like 6 and 6.
My anxiety
no, it's not going to be
112.
112. Because, I mean, like the number, because you have 6 and 6. Yeah. So you can add, right? Or okay. I got you. Okay. It's okay.
Well,
I got you. You ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So with fractions, a lot of the times you can kind of think of your domino, right? With that line right here as your.
Oh.
No.
So that's only if it's like this.
Okay.
It's okay. We're good. So if you have nothing as your denominator, then that's undefined and you can't really do anything with that. But if your 0 is on top, right? So 0 divided by 1 is 0.
Anything divided by 0 is 0, right?
As long as 0 is on top. Yeah.
As long as 0 is on top. Okay.
Yeah. So as long as 0 is your numerator, right? So 0 divided by 5, 0. Yeah. If your 0 is on the bottom, you can't do that.
Because you can't divide by 0.
Because you can't divide by 0.
Because it's nothing.
It's nothing. Well, it's not necessarily nothing, but that's a whole
That's a different conversation.
That's a different conversation. That's for those people who are like, interesting. How do I get there?
Okay.
But like, for instance, the way you can do this one, right? You can do 1/3. right? So you have your 1 on top and then your 3 on bottom.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you some dominoes, right? I'm gonna mix them up a little bit.
I'm glad you sitting
you
over
want
there.
to be?
Yeah, I sure am. I'm like, you
We
over
won't
there.
do all of them. We won't do all of them. And one of the things that I tried to choose something that parents can do at home that I feel like most households have, which are dominoes, right? And one of the main issues that I see with kids is fractions. Right, a lot of kids stray away from fractions to where even when they get to the high school level, they're like, I'm not doing that, right?
Yes.
So, one of the things you do, you can shuffle them, right, and then take half,
Oh.
and then you flip them over.
Oh.
Now, there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can have it to where your numerator is smaller than your denominator. So that means your top number is smaller than your bottom number, right?
Okay.
And that's a regular fraction. So that's like 3/4,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, let's do regular.
Let's do regular.
Yeah.
And then just so people know, you can also do improper where your your numerator is bigger than your denominator. So that's like having like 7/5, right?
Okay.
Something like that. These don't go up to 7, but I'm just giving an example. So here you want to then change them to where it's like that, right? So where your numerator is the smaller one. So you want to change them to where they look like that. And then once you have that, again, this is going to be a race when y'all at home. I know we like to compete over
watching.
here.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then you can just put them in order, right? So this helps with equivalency, and it helps with knowing, like, basically if you have your piece of pie, like which part is bigger, right? So for instance, I have 2/3 and then I have 3/4. Well, which one is bigger?
2/3. Did I do that right?
3/4.
3/4. 70. So think about it. This is 75% and this is 66%.
Yeah, I can do the percentages, but I wasn't.
6, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe.
6, 7.
You know. We already know where you are with this.
Yes. So they have to then, so that helps with the equivalency and also changing, because if you can think about them in that percentage form, right, that helps you when you're going to the store or any kind of thing like that. So then if you're able to put them in order, like, you need to know that any number over itself, so 1/1, this is just 1.
Yeah.
This is the biggest one, right? Because if we're doing the smaller, yeah, so then you have a 1, but you also have another 1, and that's okay. These are 1s.
Oh.
Right? So you're putting them in order.
Because let's do it like this. There we go.
Yeah.
So y'all can see.
Yes. So 2/2, right? Anything over itself,
Is a
right,
one.
is
There's
1.
a 1. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah. And so that helps them, like,
It's
kind
gonna
of
mess me
gauge.
up when I go to play dominoes now.
You're gonna be like, no, this is the
Yeah,
same
right.
thing. It's the same thing.
Give me my 5.
Yes.
It ain't gonna work like that though. No.
Yeah. So you're able to then put them in order. Like 1/4 is smaller than 1/3, right? Because that's 25%, and then that's 33%. So it helps them be able to gauge, like, going back and forth with their percentages and their fractions, and then also knowing what is bigger. And so when they're going through everything, that helps with equivalency, all of that. So there's 3 big things, especially in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. This is like one of the main things that they struggle with.
Yeah.
So they can even do this by themselves. You can give them the instructions and then kind of have them sit there and put them in order and know, like, equalize, like how we just did, like these are all 1s, right? And then being able to put them in order, having them write down the percentages of them, right? So they're going back and forth so they can place them. So like 1/2 is going in the middle.
I say I have one like 5/6, 3/5. So I'm trying to, in my brain going, okay, is 3/5 or 5/6?
And that's something they have to ask themselves.
I'm asking myself right now. I'm thinking, what kind of recipe do I have that calls for 5/6 and 3/5?
No, I don't know.
If you're taking 5/6 of a recipe so that you could do 5 people out of the 6.
It depends if you're talking in tablespoons, teaspoons.
Yeah.
Now we hit
Okay,
another level.
but now
Yeah.
you're right. But if you old school, you just do a little bit.
You
of
just do
this,
like
a little
this.
bit of that.
I've gotten to that point now too, where I'm
A
just
little
like,
bit
that
of
looks
this, a little
right.
bit of
That's about a half a cup.
Now.
This is a little bit.
That.
5, 6 is you getting to more of a lot of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 5/6 is bigger than 3/5.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then this is 1, 3, 3, 2, 2 are 1s. Mm-hmm. And then Oh my
What's
God.
this? If it's nothing on top.
It's 0.
There you go. So that goes all the way over here. That's the lowest you can get. You can't go past 0.
That's right. 0 is at the. See, I gotta flip my head. See again, dominoes.
Yep.
I gotta flip my brain. 0's at the bottom. This is 1. Oh, that's right. Because we're only getting to 1.
Yes, because your numerator is smaller. So the only time that you would go past 1 is if you have that improper fraction where your numerator is bigger than your
That's
denominator. Right? Yeah. That's why I said there's 2 different ways that you can do it, and you can just have them. You can, moms, dads, you can just put this out for them, right, and then give them the instructions. And I promise you, it'll take them a minute. Right, and to kind of go through it, but there's also like a learning activity that they can have that I feel like anybody at home has a thing of
Okay, so
dominoes.
did I get it right?
Let's see, you have your 1, your 2/4.
I knew it.
So 2/5 is, so this is like half.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
half.
half. So this is 50%. Think about it like that.
Right.
So it's 2/5. 2/5 isn't bigger than 50%.
I have.
I thought I'm going right, so that's bigger.
Oh, I'm going opposite. Sorry, I'm
Okay,
looking at
so
it backwards.
thank
Yeah.
you.
You're good. You're good. Yes.
I
you're
did
good.
it.
Yes, you did it.
I did it.
You did it.
I'm
Great
glad
job.
you did it.
Yay! Remember, we hype up everybody.
Yay!
Yay! You did a great job.
Okay, this is a really
Interesting way of
yes.
doing it.
It really is.
But it
and
makes sense too. It just, I mean, the way it's
Yeah, it
set
does.
up.
That makes sense.
Here she goes. Where's the wink?
CENTS. You know they just stopped passing their pennies.
I know.
I know. I heard.
In some places, I'm like, oh, they rounding up. Other places, they rounding down. But I'm keeping my pennies.
I know I am. I'm waiting for
Because
them
one
to.
day,
They gonna be worth something.
I think I'm a copper pennies too.
But some of them already are. I know we deflate. Well, yeah.
Here we go. We're digressing.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, this is okay. This is simple. It's not, I would say it's simple, but it makes you think and look. And the thing I like is that it makes me pause for just a minute and go, okay, what is this? Like, and it's stuff we know. Like we all operate with this, not even realizing we do it. We cook with it, and we do all these quarter tank gas. I mean, we're doing it.
But we're not
But
paying
we're
attention.
paying attention that, and just by this, it's like, oh, this brings it home.
And then when they're with me, and if I do something like this, then I teach them the questions to ask themselves, right? So it's in teacher language, like those questions. I'm more of a Socratic type of questioner. They'll ask me a question, I'll answer a question with a question, right? Because I want them to be able to kind of figure it out
What?
themselves.
You believe in critical thinking?
Oh my God, yes. Help them deduce the answer themselves, right?
Yes.
Just give them, because I like a lot of these kids, like you said, they come in with those stressors and not believing in themselves. So if they can get to the answer themselves, and they're like, okay, I see what you did there, miss. And I'm like, I know, thank you.
So, you know, because you do play, I play dominoes.
Yeah.
But even with just dominoes, because sometimes I used to wonder how people count.
Yes.
Now I can do it. But, you know,
Yeah.
without looking at my hands. But it's just basic things that we already do. You're right.
Yeah.
You know, I had a cousin, this story, and my uncle back in the day, you know, you go to the corner store where we lived in East Austin, and my uncle
I
would
did
give
in
us.
my grandma's house.
He did. My
Yes.
grandmother, my uncle would give us 5 cents, sometimes a dime. We thought we would get money when we got a dime. And we go to the corner store, and I had a cousin, and he was younger than us. And his brother and I would go in, and we'd buy all our stuff up.
Yeah.
And he would buy maybe 1 or 2 things. So the next time we went, we'd run out of our little money, and he'd say, "Yeah, I'll loan it to you, but I'm gonna charge you interest." Man,
That's how you do it.
He was probably 5 or 6 years old. I'm serious.
Wow.
But it has I promise y'all, he is that type of person with his money right now.
Wow. He already had it in him.
And so he's known how to manage his money to a point where it's not what he makes, it's what he does with what he gets. And I think sometimes we discount some of the things we teach our children when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I don't know what I do with mine. I can't, because I'll read, but man.
But that's that financial literacy piece that I feel like we're missing in our community, period.
Yes, it
and
is.
it's more of like, having that communication and say, hey, this is how you manage your bills, right? This is what you need to do to set up your bills, and just a lot.
Yeah, but I really believe, and I also think it adds the language because
Yeah.
you saying the word math immediately conjures up something.
Excuse
So
me.
what you've done, which I love, is like, let's get some dominoes and just put them in order and reshaping how we hear things, and then you do it and they go, oh, that was math. So it's almost like we have to redefine and relearn some of these negative things that we've barriers that become barriers in our education system with our children, even in our adults. Even if you talk to an adult now and say, let's do some math.
Yeah, I get that a lot to my
Yeah.
degree. They ask me, oh, what is your degree in? And I'm like, oh, mathematics. And they're just like, you did that on purpose? And I was like, I did.
Yeah.
I did. It's fun for me.
Right,
Well,
right.
and it makes sense. That's okay for it to be fun. I think it should be.
It should be fun.
Yeah, it should.
Yes. Learning, if we could just make learning fun.
Well, or take away some of the stuff that comes with it.
That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, we ain't got time for that.
I know.
So, Autumn, before we close out of here, I want you to speak to like the parents directly and kind of tell them, watching this right now, whose child is crying with math homework? What would you say? Like, I can't do this. This is just unreal. I need help. Or they may say, this is impossible. I just can't do it. What would you tell these parents? Like, what would you let them know? What would you say to them?
So first, I would say, please don't yell at them. That creates more stressors, and a lot of them come to me. They'll even repeat. Everybody does the little fun little. If Johnny had 4 apples, okay, they understand that Johnny has 4 apples. They don't understand how then Johnny gets to 1. Right. And so that's where I can step in and help them by breaking it down a little bit more and giving them the confidence to tell you Johnny had 4 apples. The reason he has 1 is because he ate 3. Right. And so going in that dynamic, like, that's what I'm here for.
See, just right there.
There's a math.
It's language. So it put it in a context that they could just, oh, I understand you ate 3. Oh, that's how you got. Oh, that's how we got.
That's how you got there.
That's how you got there.
Yes. It's always asking the why. So a lot of, I would say teachers and parents and, we already know why. And so it's trying to, they're young. They don't understand how they got there. Right. So my job is to help them understand how they came to that conclusion. Right. So come to me. I'm here. I take kids of all ages. I take kids of all backgrounds.
I'm laughing because you said why.
Yeah.
But if you have children like mine were and grandchildren, and the first thing, why? The answer, why? Eventually it's like, because I said so.
Just do it.
You know what you can tell them? Google it and then write a paper on it and give it back to me.
Oh, I like that.
My mama told me that. I wrote a lot of papers.
I like
I
that
wrote a
one.
lot of papers.
I know I love Lisa. I know.
She would be like, I don't know, Google it and then give me a paper. So I had a lot of 1-pagers, and that'll also help with their literacy.
That's a great.
And their research.
Like,
learning
we do
research.
tell them to go Google, but I love the adding of, now write a paper what it means. So now, I didn't just Google it. I had to take it in, regurgitate it into a way that I could explain it in my own language.
Because if you can explain it, then you
Then I
understand
understand
it.
it.
Yep.
But if I can't explain
Comprehension.
it,
Comprehension.
Comprehension.
that is something we are really missing, under comprehension. Wow.
Which leads to what? Critical thinking?
Critical.
Yes. Yes. And that's what math is supposed to be. It's supposed to be critical thinking. It's supposed to help you think outside the box. But they have put math in the box, right, which makes it harder for that critical thinking piece.
Yeah. And we don't allow our students to even
Think
think
outside the
critically.
box.
Yeah.
it's-
Well, how dare they question the system?
Just do what I say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell my kids, question everything.
There you go.
Question everything. Even me.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes I may be wrong. And that's another thing is they have figures in their life. If you teachers, right, who think that when they get up there, they're always right.
Well, we have parents like that. We
True.
think we're right.
True.
And we can be
Wrong.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So moving on to, we're almost out of time. And I want to make sure we get to this last piece. So if people want to learn more about the Jewel Institute, Ready Tutoring, where do they kind of go for that?
So I have Instagram, I have a Facebook, and I also have a website, and you can just put in Jewel Institute of Education, and it should pop up. For Ready Tutoring, as of right now, Ready Tutoring is using the platform of the Jewel Institute for Instagram and Facebook, but it does have a website, so you can go learn more there. And if you would like to do any events, yeah, it's there.
Wonderful. So I didn't do this little icebreaker, but what do you like to do in your spare time?
Oh, a lot. I'm a concert girly. I go to a lot of concerts. I love live music. We're the live music capital of the world, right? And I read a lot. So then my comprehension stays up here. Kids, read. Yeah, just a little bit of everything. And then I go watch my brother play. That's yeah.
Who's your brother?
So I have two. I'm the oldest of three. My middle brother is Jalen Shead. He does a lot of things. He's a jack of all trades. He is actually managing my youngest brother, Jamal Shead, who is in the NBA and plays on the Toronto Raptors.
okay.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing I love, Jamal is very insistent. Not even just insistent, but his family, just like she was talking earlier, they make sure they watch every game.
Yes, he's playing right now. And he was like, so you're going to miss my game? I said,
I'm sorry,
playback.
Jamal.
There's playback. I got you. You know what I'm saying? The NBA app, I could go watch it once it's like, I'm good. I'm going to watch the game.
Yes. Thank you, Jamal, for letting us have your sister for just an hour today. 'Cause I know that's very important, and I just...
He'll quiz you.
I know.
He'll say, oh, did you see me do that play on? I'm like, did I? Was I paying attention? I'm like, yeah, I did. I saw it.
I love it. And you played in
Yes,
college.
we all three of us played in college.
Everybody played. I loved it.
Yeah.
John B. Conley High School graduates.
Shout out to Mr. Garcia. That's all our principals. We love you.
Like I said, right here in Austin, Texas. Austin, a native here. Autumn Shead, thank you so much
Yes. Most
Thank
definitely.
y'all.
for joining
Appreciate
us
it.
today. This was just a pleasure. And I'm thinking, where was Autumn? Well, she wouldn't have thought of, but
No.
back in the day, I was in school with your dad and mom,
Yeah.
and we didn't have this type of teachers and opportunities. So I'm so grateful that these kids have this today.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
most definitely.
Yeah, we're gonna need to get our grands.
Oh, don't worry.
So, in closing, listen, if math is your problem, and we all got some challenges, reach out to Autumn Shead and the Jewel Institute and Ready Tutoring right here in the Austin surrounding areas. Thank you again so
Yes,
much for
thank you for
joining
Thank
us.
you.
The information and
Beautiful.
being here.
And Miss Vicki and I will see you guys again next week. I'm loving this.
Yeah, I know. I am too. I really am. It's fun.
It's fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Remember, your story has power. Your voice deserves to be heard. And it's never too late to break through any barrier. Peace out.
Sitting all alone, looking out the window, where the walls come tumbling down. That's where I'm happy with me. Reflecting on who I am and all I can become. I still have many flaws, but I'm not where I used to be. I am happy with me, happy with me, happy with me. I am happy with me, happy with me.